Today I am going to talk about the speed limit, which is very important for driving in France. Driving safely starts with one simple rule: mastering your speed. Whether you're cruising down a highway or driving through a quiet neighborhood, knowing how fast you should go is essential. In France, controlling your vehicle means more than just pushing the pedals. You need to 1. Know the speed limits. 2. Understand braking and stopping distances. 3. Keep safe distances from other vehicles. 4. And always adjust your speed to match the road signs and real driving conditions. So, let's talk about speed limits in towns and cities. By default, once you pass the entry sign of a town or village, like this one, the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour. You won't always see a speed limit sign, but that doesn't mean there isn't a limit. In towns, 50 is the rule. But of course, there are exceptions. On major roads inside cities, like ring roads or streets without houses, the limit can be increased to 70 kilometers per hour. This will always be shown with a specific sign. And sometimes, especially near schools or narrow residential areas, the speed might be lowered to 30 kilometers per hour. In that case, you'll see the lower speed limit posted right next to the town's entry sign. So remember, speed is not just about what the sign says, it's about what the road and situation demand. Drive smart, stay alert, and always adapt your speed to stay safe. When you're driving, the speed you're allowed to go can vary depending on where you are and the conditions around you. In certain areas that are considered high risk, like city centers, near hospitals, or around schools, the speed limit is often lowered to help keep everyone safe. These special zones usually have clear signs at the beginning and end, like a zone 30 inches sign indicating a 30 kilometers per hour limit and another sign to mark when the zone ends. Speed limits can also change temporarily depending on the situation. For example, if you're approaching a junction, a sharp turn, roadworks, or speed bumps, the maximum speed may be reduced to make driving safer in those specific spots. Outside of built-up areas, like in the countryside or on highways, the speed limit depends on the type of road you're on. But even here, the rules can change. If the weather is bad, like heavy rain, fog, or snow, the maximum allowed speed is reduced because visibility is lower and the road may be slippery. The same applies to new or young drivers and those learning to drive with supervision. They are required to drive more slowly for safety reasons. The photo on the page shows a typical road outside of a city. You can see clear lane markings, a car merging, and traffic signs indicating a yield, give way, and a no U-turn restriction. It's a good example of how drivers need to be aware of their surroundings and adjust their speed based on road signs and conditions. Speed limits based on conditions and driver type. Speed regulations are also adjusted based on weather conditions, driver experience, visibility. Sun face on a clear, dry day. If the weather is good and visibility is normal, here are the standard speed limits. On regular roads, you can drive up to 90 kilometers per hour. On divided roads or urban motorways, the limit is 110 kilometers per hour. On motorways, you're allowed to drive up to 130 kilometers per hour. Cloud with rain: when the weather turns bad, rain, snow, or any poor weather condition reduces your traction and visibility. That's why the speed limits are lowered. On regular roads, you must slow down to 80 kilometers per hour. On divided roads or urban motorways, the limit is 100 kilometers per hour. On motorways, it drops to 110 kilometers per hour. A button for new drivers and learners. If you're a novice driver, in your probation period, or learning with an accompanying adult, you have stricter limits even in dry weather. These are 80 kilometers per hour on regular roads, 100 kilometers per hour on divided roads and urban motorways, 110 kilometers per hour on motorways. You'll also need to display a red A sticker on the rear left of your car to let others know you're still gaining experience. Fog: when visibility is very poor, under 50 meters, in fog, heavy rain, or snow where you can't see more than 50 meters ahead, the rule is simple and strict. No matter where you're driving, the speed limit becomes 50 kilometers per hour, even on motorways. Driving safely in France means constantly adapting to your environment. Whether it's the weather, your experience level, or road conditions, the law expects you to slow down when needed. Always look out for signs, stay alert, and know your limits, especially if you're a new driver. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.